Hey there, good people. Do you feel like sometimes it's never going to happen? It being the thing you're truly trying to achieve that you've been chasing, it seems like forever. Well, I'm here to tell you that your overnight success moment probably actually started about 10 years ago. So just hold on. Oh my goodness. I love learning, right? I'm huge into biographies, to people's stories. And sometimes you don't have to read the whole book these days. You can, watch a really good interview or podcast or something like that and learn so much about someone's story that you feel like you have read the 200-page book, or that you will now go find the 200-page, 300-page book and go read it. That is how I feel after watching Don Lemon interview Byron Allen the other day. And I learned some stuff I did not know. I was literally sitting there in my head apologizing, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that there was this level of depth to this man, and that the work that he's doing and the purpose that he's moving with behind it. Oh my gosh. And recognizing that his story and his quote overnight success, and he poked fun at it in the interview. His overnight success came and started probably 20, 30, 40 years ago. I think he's in his 60s now, when he was a teenager walking around the sets of big movie or studio sets, and watching and learning from great comedians while he was still 14, 15 years old. And how those experiences baked into his system and who he was and who he developed and who he became, that is so much more than some quote, oh, that's just some comedian over there, he makes some money. No, this man is now a business mogul, like officially, and is moving with purpose with what he's doing. So fascinating. So fascinating to listen. And I'll try to remember to put the link to the episode in the description. I highly encourage you to go listen and watch, because it's just so much powerful uh, impact that you can see being made, and how he was started as a comedian, as a teenager, and had access to folks like uh, Johnny Carson, and being in the writing room with J.J. Walker and Jay Leno and all of these folks when they were just on the come up, and how he took those experiences, built out his own show over time, and then realized, you know what, I can do something more with this. And basically started building out his own version of a media company for the future, right? That supports what he does today, but it started 10, 20, more than 10 years ago, decades ago, that allowed him to have the foundation to be able to move into spaces for today's time, when things seem uh, so disrupted. That's the word. So disrupted and out of sync, but has allowed this opportunity for him to come fill a gap where, while everyone else is running around trying to figure out what in the world's going on. Very, very powerful. And it really touched me as a huge reminder that while we're moving through moments where we're like, oh my God, is this ever going to pay off? What am I doing and why? Because it really does feel like that sometimes. It's like, okay, I'm about done with this. And then something, someone says something, someone asks you a question, a potential new client that you have never met shows up in your inbox. These things happen. And it gives you encouragement for the next day to move on. And I am here to say that it is worth sticking it out, because what's going to be in 10 years, 5, 10 years for you, you don't necessarily know. You know the foundation you're working on today. You know what your motivation is today, and you may have a longer term plan for what your legacy might look like. This is something I always advocate for when I'm working with my one-on-one clients long term. Is like, how about you write out what you want your legacy to be and back into it, because it does change your perspective a great deal. I will throw that in there as a little aside, right? And so when you're thinking about that and recognizing what your purpose is, what it is you want to do, how you want to do it, even if it doesn't look like that right now today, it doesn't mean it's not going to matter. Like what you do today in this moment will matter in the future. What you did 10, 15 years ago does matter, even when it doesn't seem like it did. And it doesn't seem like it's paying off just yet, it does. And so that's just a word of encouragement for folks. And when you need that encouragement, like I said, I love a good biography. If there's someone that's inspired you down through the years, go pick up the book. Go find a good interview where they've been interviewed and you can listen to it while you're walking or whatever it might be. And then get into the nuance of it, right? Don't just listen and watch for the superficial pieces of it, which is what I own, with Byron Allen. I was like, oh, okay, it's another, media guy. I'm impressed, because he is a black man who's earned his space, earned his place in this space. But I didn't know how he got there. I didn't know the story behind it. And that completely shifted how I viewed him, what I thought. It caused me to reflect on some things and to recognize, I'm like, okay, let me go deeper on this, on learning about him, and his story, but also deeper on the reflection of my own story, where things were several years ago, 10 years, 20 years ago, and how that feeds into where I am now. When you take that look backwards in a positive light, not just in a, oh, this bad thing and this bad thing and this bad thing happened. Like, no, 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 no. What were all those learning points along the way? What were those highlights that we forget about along the way? What were those special moments that developed, that happened, that feed into who you are right now and are still, creating the base for who you're going to be in the future? Do not let today's trials or even the trials of, the last few years block you from receiving what is headed your way from all the time you've spent and the work you've put in. Don't let somebody take that from you. Don't do it. It's a mistake. And sometimes you have to walk away from people when they're speaking negativity into your being, into your space, or be like, oh, it just doesn't look like that paid off, or why did you bother doing that anyways? Boop. That's me putting them on mute. Mute. Because guess what? I have enough going on in my own head from one day to the next. I do not need somebody else feeding that into me. Are you kidding? That's a no. Because what you see for your own future does not necessarily line up with someone else sees for your future. As a matter of fact, they may not even see something for your future because they're too focused on seeing what's not happening for themselves today. So you can't let that negativity feed into what you're trying to do or what you're working towards. Your overnight success moment is in the making. Know it, believe it, step into it. And then just wait for, to see what happens. Because sometimes when little things happen, I call them little God week moments. And I'm just like, and where did that come from? You're like, I'm not going to ask any questions. Let me just see where that leads. Because those moments happen. And it's like, wow. Kind of feel like an outer body experience. You're just like, well, this is interesting. So I want you to recognize when those things are going on and know that it didn't just happen. You've been working towards this for some time. Name the goal, name the achievement, name the opportunity that's presenting itself. It didn't just happen over time, happen overnight, I will say. It literally, you've been laying the groundwork, paving the way for the opportunity to present itself. So don't take it for granted. Don't let someone else take it for granted. And also lean into it. Be excited about it and know that it too is paving the way for even another step down the road that you can't see yet. And it's okay. I know us type A folks really want to know what's going to happen next. I have had to learn like you're not going to always know what's going to happen next, and you need to be okay with that. Just keep building, keep moving. All right, there we are. So, what are you building and moving towards that you feel like, oh my God, this is taking too long, it's not going to happen, and yet it is, right? I'd love to hear from you about that. Drop something in the comments, hit me up in the DMs. And as always, please, please, please remember to hit the like and subscribe button so that uh, we can push this channel out to more people who want to be able to get some insights, some support, some direction for themselves personally, professionally, as they build forward in your own leadership, build forward as a person, and become a stronger advocate, more empowered person. Like this is what this is all about, and not limiting who you are and where you are um, at any given day and time. All right, so take care, lean in, let me know what your overnight success moment in the making is, and we will check you in the next video. Take care.